Recently, I got to hang out with Stavroula Toska, and we talked about producing and surviving the indie film world. Before I play you that interview segment, take a look at this less than 90-second piece about Stavroula. I want to introduce you to Stavroula Toska. She's a friend of mine. She's insane. I mean that in the best way possible. In all seriousness, I'd go on any adventure with Stavroula, whether it's walking into a Thai place that is deserted and discovering the best Thai food ever, or editing a series that she made about the dominatrix world, or sitting in a park pondering the pros and cons of being a sheep herder instead of a filmmaker. Yes, we actually had that conversation. Maybe we'll have it again on the show. Who knows? You always come away from talking to her feeling like there's a world of possibilities out there. I could talk about her festival achievements. She's had films in Tribeca and Sundance, blah, blah, blah. She also has been supported by organizations like the Jerome Foundation, New York State Council for the Arts, Women Make Movies. I mean, I could go all on about that, but that doesn't really matter in the end. The most important thing I can say about her is that she powers through against all odds all the time. Welcome, Stavroula. I see you're in a fancy background there, but where are you right now?
Oh, the fancy life of an independent filmmaker. Hi, Sherry. I'm actually, when we planned this interview, I was planning on being in New York, and then we had to move it. And then I was planning on being in Park City, Utah for the Sundance Film Festival, because we have a film there. I'm part of a team with a film premiering there. And then Sundance canceled all in-person events. So here we are. We got a place in Malibu, and we're looking at the Pacific Ocean, and it's been pretty incredible to just be under the sun and enjoying a premiere instead of the snowy mountains of Park City, where, people go to Sundance and we always come back sick and exhausted. So I was like, Malibu? I was like, brilliant, sign me up. So here I am, yeah.
That's great. So that's very fancy.
It is actually, it's a really nice place.
Yeah. So now let's deconstruct what it's really like. Because the appearance of fanciness is really awesome. And it is fancy. I mean, that looks beautiful, and I'd love to be there. So you're an associate producer on this film, and it's gone to Sundance. So let me guess, you have a $5 million contract for it to be purchased. Is that accurate?
It used to be where you would have a premiere in a really big festival after working for years to complete a film, whether it's fiction or a documentary, and that would actually mean something. And it just doesn't. It doesn't work like that anymore.
And it's interesting too, because I know you were talking about this, so I'm gonna bring it up because we've spoken about it in the past. Everybody wins a prize. Like, there's all these awards now, and do they really mean? I mean, some do. I mean, obviously, if you win Cannes, look, but do these awards really mean anything? Should you be breaking your heart over it?
No, and you know what? We do break our hearts over it. Or forget about not winning an award or not winning an award. We're talking about when you complete a film and you don't have a big agent or you don't have a sales rep on board, and you start submitting to festivals on your own and trying to figure everything out and work through things with your team, and then not getting accepted. And you just really start questioning years of work that you've been doing, and if you did the right thing. And my God, do I really suck as a writer? Am I a terrible director? And it's like the worst thing, right? It just kills your soul. I know of people who have made projects that not just me, but a bunch of others were like, how did this person get a deal? Why did they pitch this like really crappy idea and they got the green light to turn it into a TV series? And who gave them like $15 million to make this documentary, in today's world? And you just want to I don't know, you just want to lose your shit. And you're like, my God, am I like not talented? Am I stupid? Am I not working hard enough? And none of that is true. So I want to make a point, especially for younger filmmakers or people who have been in this industry for a while, and it's just the doors are not opening, right? Keep it real with yourself. Where do you see yourself? What's going to be my place in this business? And what is it that I really, really want? There's so many people who think it's just easy to pick up a camera and go, film something and then find an editor and this and that. And you're like, I mean, sure, maybe it's easy for you, but what's the point of it? Like, why do you want to tell XYZ story? What is it about it that really moves you and you're deciding that you're going to dedicate the next few years of your life? Every single project takes a few years to get made. And then that's the thing, there's no guarantees. You have no idea how people are going to receive it. You have no idea if festivals are going to think it's good enough or it matches, it fits their agenda for that particular year. There's just so many, politics. People forget that from all the things, all the projects that are being made in America, but also around the world, every single year or every month, the projects that are completed, is it like 3% maybe what ends up on our screens? Via the streamers and the networks and the cable platforms. This is the reality of it. This is the
Yeah,
area.
you really have to build your own fan base, I
Yeah,
think.
but this is
And
why Shari, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is why I
no,
always say we're just crazy. Like you have to be so, the intro that you put together for me when you said Stavroula Toska is insane. And I'm like, you know what, she's right. I'm just insane because I'm still at it and I'm still doing this, but I fucking love it. So, and I'm so happy and I'm so grateful and I feel so incredibly blessed in my life to be able to share stories and do it in my own way without a studio giving me a large budget, but also dictating every single step of the way.
yeah, what do you
You,
want to be? Do you want to be a traffic cop on a TV show? Which I'm not saying all directors are. I mean, I think it depends on how the show is being run. But you're telling people where to stand. It's somebody else's vision, or you're making a film for a studio and you had this idea and now it's kind of gone over here and you were like over here. And that is certainly great if you get the money. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. I'd totally do it anytime. Give me the money. But it is quite a different thing. Whereas if you're an indie filmmaker, you make your film your way. It's your art. And there is something to be said, but then it's balancing your life. So I did want to ask you, I know that you also, besides producing, like actually being on, in the, with the film, doing stuff, you also do development, pitch materials. And I just was wondering if you had any free advice. Obviously we're here to be free and to help out for people who are interested in doing that, who want to, like, I've never pitched a series because I don't, it's not really my world.
I will tell you what the secret is. I became really good at it when I started detaching myself, when I started taking the emotion out and saying, okay, switch, brilliant idea, this and that, real life story, but it's not just everyone's cup of tea. That's as simple as that. And there's nothing remotely similar on TV right now or on any of the streamers. Why is that? It's never an accident. So that goes back to again understanding the nature of the business, what the trends are in the current moment. So when someone comes to me with an idea, every idea that's out there, somebody thinks it's great and somebody thinks it's crap. And you have to, find your tribe and find your people and find the executive that's going to put their faith in you and the project, and they're going to start building a team around you.
My last question for you is, what is success?
Success for me is just, waking up on a Sunday morning after a really lovely dinner and company and, a premiere, and just being able to catch up with Shari, whom I care about dearly, and I consider you such a dear friend, and I love you, and you're amazing. And it doesn't matter to me if you're going to go on to do another 10 films that, no festival will see. You're always going to be a brilliant filmmaker to me. You know what I mean, Shari?
I think that might be my goal. Like, how many films can I make and have in a drawer so when I die, then somebody will discover them? There was this show called Square Pegs when I was like little on the show. It was Sarah Jessica Parker and another young actor's name was young at the time. And they were two teens. And one of them says to Sarah Jessica Parker, she says, I want to be a poet. And she said, well, if you want to be a successful poet, you have to die young. Yes, I'll kill myself when I'm 30. And she says, no, wait, 29, and then you'll be famous. Yeah, 29 is better. And I'm not advocating suicide. This is sarcasm. I just want to be clear. But I am saying that, like, sometimes some of the greatest filmmakers are discovered way after they're dead, when they die when they're 90.
Since you mentioned a poet, one of my favorite poems is Ithaca by Konstantin Kavafi. He's one of my favorite Greek poets. And Ithaca is pretty much all about the journey, not the destination.